Guys, welcome back to the channel. So glad you're here. We're going to be doing some decorating today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And St. Patrick's Day is March 17th. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Here we go, guys. We are going to be doing my hallway. It needs it really bad. This old antique frame I'm going to be turning into like a memo board. I had purchased this original print from Hobby Lobby and I'm just not happy with it anymore. So I've got a lot of ephemera in drawers and things that I would really like to pull out and be able to enjoy. So that's what we're doing with that. I bought a yard of burlap from Joann's Fabrics. I think it was around $6. And I'm ironing it right now to get all the creases out of it from where it was folded. Basically, I'm going to be throwing that right over top of that old portrait. It's backed with cardboard, so it's thick enough to hold pins. And this burlap I purchased is the natural color burlap. It's kind of got a brown hue to it. Glue gun, and just cut to where there's about an inch around the perimeter and glue around the edges. Just pull it taut and lay it down. It's very easy to do. And I made sure that there was no print on the side that's going to be facing out, because that will show through the burlap, because the burlap, if you look closely, does have a little, a bunch of little tiny holes in it. So you don't want that. Doesn't fit perfectly in the frame, so just took more of my glue from my glue gun and stuck that on the corners and a little bit around the edges, and voila. It looks horrible from the back, but it looks good from the front. That's all that matters. After I took everything down from the hallway, I had to come in and, wipe the walls down. And there was holes, of course, from where I had things hung before, so I had to spackle and paint. This is just a really small hallway, maybe 12 feet long, very dark, so, unfortunately I couldn't, well, fortunately, I guess you could say, I couldn't see all the dirt until now. Coming in from my living room, the mirror that is in front of us right now, I purchased at an antique store. It was a mall, a booth. It was about $24. It's gorgeous. I love it. This piece right here is made of metal. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think it may have been on a door. It's reminiscent of like your antique fencing, but I know that's not what it is. I found it in a dumpster and I went dumpster diving and brought it home and hung it on my wall, basically. I've got an antique silk tapestry here hung on it that is Oddfellows, and I just love all the imagery on it. I think it's wonderful. It has that metal like tassels and fringe hanging on the bottom of it. I've got the memo board hung up, and it's not taking much time for me to get it filled. There is spaces in there, but I guarantee, because of all of the things I continue to find that I have squirreled away for this such occasion, it'll get filled up very quickly. I think a lot of people are under this rule that you have to just put ephemera, such as postcards, pictures, things of that nature on a memo board. But as you can see, like this little vintage purse, change purse, with the doll stuffed in it and the dried flowers. You don't have to do that. I put everything, as you can see, on my memo board. Anything that I find of interest that I can shove on there, I will. Like this antique horse brass that's shaped like a heart. This little receipt holder that I've got a bunch of antique photos shoved in. I think this eclectic mix of things makes it quite interesting to look at. I found an old magnifying glass that was missing the glass, so I took a damaged old portrait and put an eye in there. We have a butterfly that I had found, an old ribbon here that I decided to put a doll's head on because the doll was damaged. So don't pigeonhole yourself. I've actually got, right there, a framed bug that has glass in it. So if you've got some heavy duty pins, you know, it'll work. Now I'm dragging in this little table. It's like a side table, but it fits perfectly underneath the memo board because of the height and because of the width. It's not very wide, so it fits in that space nicely. And it always felt like it needed something there, so I'm really happy with the placement of this. I have, it's not an antique, it's not old, something I got from Hobby Lobby years, probably 10 years ago. I don't have as many shelves as you think I do. I actually have, I think, a Tupperware bowl or something like that in the center, like that's square shaped, and then place the shelves around the perimeter of it to give it that full look. And the larger shells, the nicest ones, of course, like the starfish and seahorses and silver dollars, I have placed towards the top. But it is glass all the way around it, so you can see the shells from every angle. So I think it's really pretty. On the bottom shelf, I have a silver-plated tray that I thrifted and a cast iron bird with chippy paint. The books have the covers removed to expose the inner bindings of the book, and I have a piece of ribbon wrapped around it, tied into a bow with a large key and a crown vessel. Now it's time for the gallery wall. This wall gave me fits. I first started out with lying all my pictures out in the living room with, you know, the allotted space that I had, knowing the measurements of my wall, which kind of gives you an idea of where to place things, where they'll fit. But I switched things around so much that my wall kind of looks like Swiss cheese when I was done. So take it with a grain of salt. But this antique picture I have here, these little boys with the boxing gloves, I found this old pair that's in pretty bad shape, but they're wonderful. They're a little boy's boxing gloves, so I thought that would be great with the picture. And that's just a decorative hook on the wall to hang them. I found lots of these items in antique stores, even flea markets. I found things. And again, when you do your gallery wall, you do not have to pigeonhole yourself into just pictures. You can add different things into your collage that you're making, such as the gloves that I put on the wall. And once you get your larger pieces set, then you can put little pictures in there or whatever you want to do in order to fill the gaps to where it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Now, this type of thing right here, where you have your thermostat, you know, I put a picture frame around it because it didn't agree with me. So that way, to me, it was more pleasing to the eye and blended much better into my wall collage, you know, than just sitting there by itself. That piece right there I did years ago. It's just antique hardware, door hardware, and I just did push pins and placed some skeleton keys in there. I have a few pieces of architectural salvage on the wall too, that I like, that are solid wood. I am unsure of actually where they came from or what their purpose was previously. That has a glare from the light in the hallway, but there's 4 older men sitting on a bench. And this is another type of collage that I did, framed for my trip to Germany. I was like 13 or 14 years old. It has money, tickets, postcards, all the sort of things that you collect when you go on a trip. This is the view aspect from coming out of my bathroom, which you can actually see the overall effect from this viewpoint. Up at the top there, next to that piece of architectural salvage, is my smoke detector, which you can't get around that either, so you just have to deal with it and incorporate it in your design, unfortunately. Starting over, entering the hallway, we have the antique mirror, go past the bathroom, then we have the wrought iron piece that I have on the wall with my tapestry. Then looking down the hall to the left, you see my gallery wall, and all the way at the end, the memo board and the table with my seashells. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Redoing my hallway. Next is the bathroom, so I hope you can tune in for that. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, see you later.